In the rolling hills of Adams, Tennessee, lies a stretch of farmland that appears peaceful, quiet, and unchanging. But beneath its gentle landscape is a story so chilling, so deeply rooted in American folklore, that it continues to terrify people more than 200 years after it began. This is the story of the Bell Witch, one of the most famous and most documented hauntings in United States history. A haunting so intense it gained the attention of future President Andrew Jackson and left behind legends that still haunt the land today. The story begins in the early 1800s with the Bell family, who moved from North Carolina to Tennessee, seeking a new life on fertile farmland. John Bell, the family patriarch, purchased a large piece of land and built a modest log home where he lived with his wife, Lucy, and their children. For many years, life was calm and prosperous. But everything changed in 1817 when John Bell encountered a strange-looking animal lurking in the fields, a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. Described as having the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit, it stared at him with unnatural intelligence before vanishing into the woods. It was the first sign that something was terribly wrong. Shortly after this sighting, the Bell family began hearing strange noises at night. It started with faint scratching on the walls, then knocking on the doors, and soon escalated to the sound of chains being dragged across the wooden floors. The noises grew louder and more violent with each passing night. Furniture moved on its own, blankets were ripped from beds, and something unseen pulled at the children's hair. The family was terrified, but the haunting was only beginning. The invisible force eventually gained a voice, first whispering faint words, then speaking clearly enough to engage in conversations. The entity claimed to be the Bell Witch, identifying herself as Kate, and soon became known throughout the region. Her voice, sharp and mocking, filled the house at all hours. She sang hymns, repeated sermons, and at times, recited Bible verses. But she also used her voice for cruelty, tormenting John Bell and his daughter Betsy with relentless attacks that seemed intended to break their spirits. Betsy Bell became the primary target of the witch's rage. She was slapped, pinched, and beaten by invisible hands. Her hair was pulled violently. She was stuck with needles that appeared out of thin air. The entity tormented her night after night, often telling her it would not rest until she was miserable. Betsy later became engaged to a young man named Joshua Gardner, but the witch made her stance clear. It refused to allow the marriage. Eventually, due to the continuous torment, Betsy broke off the engagement. The witch's influence had become too powerful to deny. John Bell suffered even worse. The entity declared that it intended to kill him, calling him Old Jack Bell in mocking tones. His health rapidly deteriorated. He experienced seizures, paralysis, and a strange swelling of the throat. On December 20th, 1820, John Bell died. At his funeral, witnesses reported hearing the witch's voice laughing joyfully and singing loudly, celebrating his death. Many believed she had succeeded in her mission. After John Bell's death, the activity diminished but did not completely stop. The witch promised to return in 7 years, and according to legend, she did. She visited John's son Richard, spending days speaking with him about philosophy, religion, and the nature of the spiritual world before disappearing once again. She claimed she would return 107 years later, but no major events were documented during that time. Still, people in Adams insist that the Bell Witch never truly left. Today, the original Bell farmhouse is gone, but the Bell Witch Cave, located on the family's former property, has become the center of paranormal reports. Visitors describe hearing whispers in the dark passages, feeling cold gusts of air, and seeing shadow figures lurking near the cave walls. Some claim to hear footsteps behind them when no one is there. Others report being pushed, scratched, or touched by unseen hands. Even hardened paranormal investigators say the cave carries a heavy, oppressive energy that feels alive and aware of their presence. The surrounding farm area also experiences strange phenomena. Electronics malfunction, camera batteries drain instantly, and audio recorders capture unexplained voices. Locals claim to hear disembodied laughter drifting through the trees at night. Some describe seeing a small girl in a white dress standing near the cave entrance, only for her to vanish in seconds. Others report seeing figures watching them from the woods, especially near dusk. One of the most famous legends involves Andrew Jackson, who reportedly visited the Bell home out of curiosity. According to stories recorded by the Bell family and the community, Jackson's wagon stalled mysteriously as he approached the property. The horses refused to move, and the wheels froze as if held by an invisible force. After Jackson declared, "By the Eternal, this must be the Bell Witch," the wagon suddenly released and moved again. That night, Jackson and his men experienced terrifying encounters in the home: voices, slaps, and unseen attacks. By morning, Jackson allegedly fled the property, declaring he would never return. Even today, the Bell Witch phenomenon remains one of the most debated hauntings in the world. Some historians believe the story has roots in folklore or psychological stress. Others insist the accounts are too numerous, too consistent, and too historically documented to dismiss entirely. The Bell family, local farmers, ministers, and even political leaders testified to experiences that defied explanation. Whether the Bell Witch was a malevolent spirit, a powerful poltergeist, or something beyond human understanding, her presence left a permanent scar on Adams, Tennessee. And more than 2 centuries later, the stories still inspire fear, fascination, and endless speculation. The land where the Bell home once stood is quiet today, but those who visit say the silence feels unnatural, as if the Bell Witch is still there, watching, waiting, and ready for anyone brave enough to seek her out.